My wife said I was insecure for not wanting her ex at our wedding. She invited him anyway and seated him at the family table. Right before our first dance, my mother handed me a USB drive with photos of them that had been taken last week. I canceled my wedding reception 30 seconds before our first dance and my wife is threatening to sue me for humiliation. My wife is 29. I'm 31. We got married 3 days ago and I still can't believe what happened. My mother-in-law is calling me abusive. My own family thinks I'm a hero. I genuinely don't know anymore. So here's the thing. My wife has this ex-boyfriend from college. They dated for like 4 years. When she first told me about him 6 months into our relationship, she made it sound like no big deal. They stayed friends after the breakup. Cool, I thought. I'm not that guy who gets weird about exes. But then I started noticing stuff. He'd text her at odd hours. She'd laugh at her phone and when I'd ask what was funny she'd say, oh, just something he sent me. She went to his birthday party last year. Without me. Said I wouldn't know anyone there and it would be awkward. When we got engaged I told her I wasn't comfortable with him at the wedding. Not because I'm insecure or controlling. Because it felt weird having someone she was intimate with for 4 years watching us get married. She lost it. Called me jealous. Said I was trying to isolate her from her friends. Said if I really loved her I'd trust her. I dropped it. Told myself I was being ridiculous. 3 weeks before the wedding she mentioned she'd invited him anyway. Just casually. Like, oh by the way, he's coming, and I seated him at table 4 with my college friends. I was pissed. We fought for hours. She cried and said I was ruining everything. Said he was important to her and if I made her uninvite him she'd never forgive me. Her mother called me and told me I needed to be the bigger person and stop throwing tantrums. Eventually I gave up. I figured one day. I could handle seeing him for one day. The wedding itself was beautiful. She looked incredible. I actually felt guilty for ever doubting her. We did the ceremony, took photos, everything felt perfect. At the reception I realized she hadn't seated him with her college friends. She'd put him at table 2. The family table. Right next to her sister. When I asked her about it she squeezed my hand and said, don't start, please, not today. We were about to do our first dance. The DJ announced us. Everyone was clapping. My wife was smiling. And then my mother appeared next to me holding a USB drive. She pressed it into my hand and whispered, bathroom, now. My wife was asking what was wrong. I told her I'd be right back. Went to the bathroom with my brother and cousin. My brother had his laptop in his car, he's a photographer so he always has equipment. We pulled it out in the bathroom. There were 47 photos on that drive. My wife and her ex. At his apartment. On his couch. Kissing. His hand up her shirt. Her straddling him. One photo was dated from last Tuesday. 5 days before our wedding. Another from 2 weeks ago. Another from a month before that. I'm not gonna describe all of them. You get the idea. My brother was saying what the fuck over and over. My cousin asked if I was okay. I wasn't okay. I couldn't breathe right. Apparently my mother hired a private investigator 3 weeks ago. She never trusted my wife. Thought something was off about the ex situation. The investigator had been following my wife and caught them together 4 separate times in 3 weeks. My mom didn't want to tell me before the wedding because she knew I'd cancel and lose all the deposits. She figured she'd give me the proof at the reception so I could decide what to do with the marriage before the honeymoon. Before we went on the trip. Before I got her pregnant like we'd been planning. I walked back into the reception. Our first dance song was playing. My wife was standing in the middle of the dance floor looking confused and annoyed. Her ex was at his table watching. Smirking a little. Like he knew something I didn't. I went straight to the DJ booth and took the microphone. I said, sorry everyone, there's not gonna be a first dance. Or a reception. I just found out my wife has been sleeping with her ex-boyfriend. I pointed at him. That guy right there. They were together 5 days ago. The room went dead silent. My wife's face went white. Then red. She started screaming that I was insane. Her ex stood up and tried to leave. My brother blocked the door. My uncle is a cop and he was there. He told the ex to sit down. My wife was crying, yelling that I was lying, that I was humiliating her. Her mother was shrieking at me. Her father looked like he wanted to kill someone but I couldn't tell if it was me or the ex. I told everyone they could stay and eat the food we'd paid for but the wedding was over. Then I left. Drove to my parents' house. My brother and cousin came with me. My wife has been blowing up my phone. Her family is threatening legal action for public humiliation and emotional distress. Her sister sent me a message saying I'm abusive for ambushing her like that and I should have confronted her privately. Some of her friends are posting on social media that I'm controlling and I ruined her special day over nothing. The ex blocked me on everything. My family thinks I handled it perfectly. My friends are saying I'm a legend. But I keep thinking about her face when I said it into the microphone. She looked destroyed. And yeah, she cheated, but maybe I shouldn't have done it that publicly. Maybe I should have just ended the reception quietly and dealt with it later. My lawyer says the marriage can be annulled since it was never consummated and I have proof of infidelity within days of the ceremony. But I still feel sick about the whole thing. Was I wrong for doing it like that? The annulment went through this morning. Took 11 days total. My lawyer said it's one of the fastest he's ever processed because the evidence was so clear-cut and we never slept together after the ceremony. I haven't spoken to my wife since the reception. Ex-wife now, I guess. She tried calling 89 times the first night. Then her number got blocked by my phone automatically because of the volume. Her sister showed up at my parents' house 2 days after the wedding screaming on the front lawn. My dad told her to leave or he'd call the cops. She left. My mom told me yesterday that my ex's family is trying to sue for the cost of the wedding. They paid for about 60% of it, we paid for 40%. Their lawyer sent a letter demanding $34,000. My lawyer laughed when he saw it. Said they have no case. You can't sue someone for ending a marriage after you cheated. Apparently my ex is also trying to keep all the wedding gifts. My lawyer is handling that too. The worst part is finding out how long this was actually going on. After I got the USB drive, I asked my mom for the full investigator report. I shouldn't have looked at it. They'd been sleeping together the entire time we were engaged. The whole 14 months. There are timestamps and location logs. His apartment, her car, a hotel twice, even our house when I was on a work trip to Denver in March. I keep thinking about that trip. I called her every night. She said she missed me. Said she couldn't wait for me to come home. And he was probably there in our bed while we were talking. My brother went to the house 3 days ago to get my stuff. I couldn't go back there. He said my ex was there with her mom and they both started crying when they saw him. Her mom said I destroyed her daughter's life. My brother told her that her daughter destroyed her own life and then he loaded my things into a truck and left. He said my ex kept saying it wasn't like that and he doesn't understand. He didn't stick around to hear the rest. I'm staying at my parents' place for now. Can't afford my own apartment yet because all my savings went into the wedding and the honeymoon deposits. We were supposed to be in Greece right now. I canceled everything and lost about $4,000 in fees. Can't get it back. My ex's friends have been posting about me online. Calling me abusive. Saying I'm a narcissist who couldn't handle that she had a male friend. One of them posted a whole thread about how I isolated her and controlled who she could see. It's insane. I have screenshots of everything in case it gets worse. My lawyer said to document it all but don't respond. The guy she cheated with posted something too. Didn't name me but it was obvious. Something about toxic masculinity and how real men don't feel threatened by their partner's past. My cousin found his Instagram and apparently he's been posting photos with my ex since the wedding. Them getting coffee. At some restaurant. One photo from yesterday at a hiking trail. She's wearing a jacket I bought her for Christmas. That one really got to me. The jacket thing. My uncle, the cop, told me last week that the ex tried to file a harassment report against me. Said I threatened him at the wedding. My uncle was there. He told the other officers that I never went near the guy and the whole thing is bullish tea. Nothing came of it but it shows where her head is at. She's trying to make me the villain. I found out from a mutual friend that my ex has been telling people I catfished her with a USB drive. That the photos were fake or from before we met. But the timestamps are right there. The investigator is willing to testify if needed. My lawyer has his full contact info. My job has been okay about everything. I took a week off right after the wedding. Told my boss what happened and he gave me the time without making me use PTO. But I've been useless at work. Can't focus. Keep zoning out in meetings. I saw my ex's dad at the grocery store 4 days ago. We made eye contact across the produce section. He looked at me for a long time and then he just walked away. Didn't say anything. Her dad always liked me. We watched football together. He taught me how to smoke a brisket. I wonder what she told him. I wonder if he believes her version or if he knows the truth. My friends have been trying to get me to go out. Do normal stuff. I went to a bar with them on Saturday and lasted maybe 45 minutes before I had to leave. Some woman tried to talk to me and I just froze. Couldn't do it. My friend drove me home and didn't make me explain. The thing nobody tells you about this is how stupid you feel. Everyone keeps saying it's not my fault. That she's the one who did this. But I keep replaying everything trying to figure out when I should have known. All those late nights she said she was at her friend's place. The way she'd angle her phone away from me when she was texting. How she suddenly started doing her hair different about 6 months ago. I thought she just wanted to try something new. I asked my brother if I was blind or just stupid. He said neither. He said she was a liar and liars are good at lying. But it doesn't feel like enough of an answer. My therapist, who I started seeing last week, says I'm grieving two things. The relationship and the person I thought she was. That the second one is harder because it means she never existed. I don't know if that helps, but at least someone is letting me talk about it for an hour without telling me to just move on already. I got an email from her yesterday. It went to my work account because I blocked her everywhere else. She said we need to talk. That I owe her a conversation. That what I did at the reception was cruel and I humiliated her in front of everyone she loves. She said the thing with her ex just happened and she never meant to hurt me. She said if I really loved her I'd let her explain. I haven't responded. My lawyer said not to engage at all. But I keep reading it. The part about how it just happened. Like 14 months of F-king someone else is some accident you can't control. I don't know what I'm supposed to do now. Everyone keeps acting like I should be celebrating because I dodged a bullet. And maybe I did. But it doesn't feel like winning. Her ex contacted me. Not through social media or email. He showed up at my office yesterday. I was walking out to my car around 5:30 and he was just standing there in the parking lot. Leaning against a truck that wasn't his. When he saw me he straightened up and started walking over. I thought about getting back inside but I was too angry to run. He said we need to talk. I told him to get away from me. He said just 5 minutes, man to man. I almost laughed. Man to man. Like he has any right to say that to me. He told me my ex is falling apart. That she's not eating, not sleeping, crying all the time. He said she made a mistake but she loves me and I'm being cruel by cutting her off completely. I asked him if he was serious. If he actually came to my job to tell me I should forgive the woman who effed him for 14 months while planning our wedding. He got defensive then. Said it wasn't like that. Said they had real feelings for each other and it wasn't just physical. Said she was going to leave me eventually but then I proposed and she panicked and didn't know how to get out of it. He said she felt trapped. I asked him when she told him that. He said a few months ago. So she was telling him she felt trapped while she was trying on wedding dresses with her mom. While we were sending out invitations. While I was writing my vows. He said I embarrassed her at the wedding and now her whole family thinks she's a terrible person. I told him she is a terrible person. He didn't like that. Got in my face and told me I never deserved her anyway. That she settled for me because I was stable but she never really loved me the way she loves him. I shoved him. Not hard but enough to get him back. He shoved me back and then my coworker came out and saw us. Asked if everything was okay. The ex backed off real quick. Said think about what I said and then left. I sat in my car for 20 minutes trying to calm down. My hands were shaking. I called my brother and told him what happened. He asked if I wanted him to handle it. I said no. I don't need this getting worse. But here's the thing that's been eating at me since yesterday. She told him she felt trapped. Which means she was planning to leave me the whole time. The wedding wasn't something she got cold feet about. She actively wanted out and still went through with it. Still let me stand up there and promise forever while she knew it was all bullshit. I told my therapist about it this morning. She asked how that made me feel and I said like I'm the punchline to a joke everyone else was in on. She said that's a normal response to betrayal. That it'll take time to process. I'm so tired of hearing that it'll take time. My ex's sister called me last night. Don't know how she got my new number. She was crying. Said her family is falling apart because of what I did. That her parents are fighting constantly. That my ex tried to hurt herself 2 days ago and they had to take her to the hospital. Nothing serious, she said. Just a cry for help. She said I need to talk to my ex so she can have closure and move on. I asked her if she knew about the affair. She went quiet. Then she said it's complicated. I asked what's complicated about it. She said my ex was confused and her feelings for the ex-boyfriend never really went away and maybe they should have dealt with that before the wedding but it's not fair that I'm punishing her forever for one mistake. One mistake. 14 months. 4 times a week sometimes according to the investigator report. One mistake. I told her sister that her closure isn't my responsibility and hung up. She texted me after saying I'm vindictive and I clearly never loved my ex if I can be this cold. I blocked the number. My lawyer called this afternoon. My ex's family dropped the lawsuit. They can't afford it apparently. But my ex is now claiming I owe her for emotional damages and therapy costs because of the public humiliation and slander. Her lawyer sent a demand letter for $15,000. My lawyer says it's nonsense and won't hold up but it still has to be dealt with. The wedding gift situation is a mess too. Turns out my ex already sold some of them. The nice blender we got, the knife set, a bunch of other kitchen stuff. Sold it on Facebook Marketplace for cash. My lawyer is trying to figure out if we can do anything about that, but he's not optimistic. She's claiming they were gifts to her and she can do what she wants with them. I saw one of our mutual friends at the gym 2 days ago. Haven't been in weeks but I forced myself to go. He came up to me in the locker room and said he heard what happened. I said yeah. He said bro, she's telling everyone you made the whole thing up. That you doctored those photos because you were jealous. I asked if he believes that. He shrugged and said I don't know man, it's messy. Then he left. We've been friends for 6 years. I was in his wedding. And he doesn't know if he believes me. That's when it hit me how many people she's going to turn against me. How many friends are going to hear her version and decide I'm the bad guy. She's had 2 weeks to craft her story. To cry to everyone we know. To make herself the victim. And it's working. My dad came into my room last night and sat on the edge of the bed like I was 12 years old again. He didn't say anything for a while. Then he asked if I was okay. I said no. He said good, you shouldn't be. He told me his brother went through something similar in the 80s. Found out his wife was cheating right after their kid was born. Turned out the kid wasn't even his. He said his brother never really recovered from it. Died about 10 years ago. Heart attack but my dad thinks it was all the stress and anger he carried around. I asked why he was telling me that. He said because I don't want that to be you. He said I need to find a way to let this go before it eats me alive. But I don't know how to let it go when she's still out there lying about me. When her ex is showing up at my job. When her family is threatening to sue me. When people I thought were my friends are believing her over me. The investigator my mom hired called me yesterday. Said if I ever need him to testify or provide additional evidence he will. Said he's seen a lot of cheating cases but the way she carried on for over a year while planning a wedding was exceptionally callous. That made me feel slightly better. At least someone professional thinks what she did was messed up. I keep having this dream where I'm back at the reception and I don't say anything. I just do the first dance and pretend everything is fine. In the dream we go on the honeymoon and I spend the whole time knowing what she did but not saying anything. Just acting normal. And when I wake up I feel relieved that's not what happened. That at least I didn't spend years pretending. But then I wonder if that would have been easier somehow. My ex's family showed up at my parents' house last night. All of them. Her mom, her dad, her sister, and 2 of her cousins I barely know. They were standing on the front porch at 8 p.m. demanding to talk to me. My mom answered the door. I heard her say he doesn't want to speak to you, and then my ex's mom started yelling that I ruined her daughter's life and I owe them an explanation. My dad went outside and told them to leave. Her dad, who I used to watch football with, who taught me how to smoke meat, looked at my dad and said, "Your son is a liar and a coward." My dad lost it. Started yelling back. My brother came outside. Her cousins got involved. The neighbors called the cops. By the time the police showed up, everyone was screaming at each other in the driveway. The cops separated everyone and took statements. My ex's mom kept crying and saying I destroyed their family. That her daughter is in therapy 3 times a week now and can't function. That I'm spreading lies about her. One of the officers asked if I had proof of the affair. I said yes. He asked if I wanted to press charges for trespassing or harassment. I said no, I just want them to leave me alone. They left, but not before her sister screamed at me that I'm going to regret this. That karma is real and I'll get what's coming to me. My mom was shaking. My dad looked like he wanted to hit someone. My brother said we should get a restraining order. I said I don't know. I don't want to make this bigger than it already is. But I can't stop thinking about what her dad said. That I'm a coward. This is the same man who told me I was like a son to him. Who cried during our wedding ceremony. And now he thinks I made the whole thing up. I called my lawyer this morning. Told him what happened. He said we can pursue a restraining order if they show up again, but he thinks they're just emotional and probably won't come back. He also told me my ex's demand letter for $15,000 is officially dead. Her lawyer apparently dropped her as a client. Too much drama, not enough merit to the case. My therapist asked me today how I'm sleeping. I told her I'm not really. Maybe 3 or 4 hours a night. She asked if I'm eating. I said when I remember to. She gave me this look like she was disappointed but trying not to show it. Said I need to take care of myself or this is going to destroy me physically on top of everything else. One of my ex's friends, someone I actually liked, sent me a message yesterday. She said she heard both sides and she believes me. That my ex has been acting strange for over a year and it makes sense now. She said my ex has been posting constantly on social media about betrayal and narcissistic abuse. Making herself look like the victim. Getting hundreds of supportive comments from people who don't know what actually happened. This friend, I'll call her M, said my ex and her ex-boyfriend are basically together now. Like officially. They went to some party last weekend as a couple. Posted photos together. My ex was wearing a dress I bought her for our first anniversary. M said it made her sick watching it. That my ex acts like nothing happened. Like she didn't just blow up her entire life a month ago. I looked at the photos. I don't know why I did it, but I couldn't help myself. She looks happy. Not like someone who tried to hurt herself 2 weeks ago like her sister claimed. She looks fine. Better than fine. She's smiling in every photo. His arm is around her. One photo shows them kissing and someone commented, "Finally you two can be together," with heart emojis. Finally. Like people knew. Like this was some romantic story everyone was rooting for except me. I showed my brother and he said she doesn't get to be happy right now. But she is. She gets to move on and play victim and start over with the guy she cheated with, and I'm the one who can't sleep. Who can't focus at work. Who has panic attacks in the grocery store when I see someone who looks like her. My boss called me into his office yesterday. Said my performance has been slipping. That he understands I'm going through something but I need to get it together or we're going to have to discuss next steps. I've worked there for 7 years. Never had a single complaint. And now I'm on thin ice because I can't stop thinking about how my entire life fell apart. The investigator my mom hired called me 2 days ago. Said he has additional information if I want it. Footage from before the engagement. I asked how far back. He said 8 months before I proposed. I told him I didn't want to know. He said I should take it anyway. For my records. Just in case. I picked it up yesterday. Haven't looked at it yet. It's sitting on my desk in a manila envelope. My brother said I should burn it. That knowing more won't help. But part of me needs to see it. Needs to know exactly how long I was the idiot. My ex tried to add me on a different social media platform yesterday. One I barely use. I didn't accept or decline. Just left it sitting there. Don't know what she wants. If she's trying to see if I'm looking at her posts. If she's trying to reach me. If it's some kind of test. M told me that my ex has been telling people the real reason we broke up is because I was controlling and she couldn't take it anymore. That the affair was her way of escaping an abusive relationship. That she's the brave one for finally leaving. M said she's correcting the story when she can, but most people just believe whatever they hear first. I'm losing friends over this. People I've known for years are suddenly not responding to my messages. One guy I used to play basketball with every Sunday uninvited me from the group chat. No explanation. Just gone. I asked another friend what's going on and he said it's complicated, man, people don't want to pick sides. But they are picking sides. Just not mine. My mom keeps trying to get me to eat. Made my favorite dinner last night. I ate maybe 4 bites and then excused myself. Heard her crying in the kitchen after. My dad told her to give me space, but I know she's worried. My brother said I look like hell. That I've lost weight. That I need to pull myself together before I end up like our uncle. The one who never recovered. Who carried it around until it killed him. I don't know how to let this go when everywhere I turn someone is calling me a liar. When her family shows up at my house. When people I thought were friends ghost me. When she gets to be happy with him while I'm falling apart. My therapist said something today that keeps replaying in my head. She said sometimes the hardest part isn't what they did. It's watching them face no real consequences for it. I think she's right. I opened the envelope from the investigator. The one with footage from 8 months before I proposed. I wish I hadn't. They'd been together for almost 2 years. Not 14 months like I thought. 2 full years. The investigator had timestamps going back to 3 months after we started dating. 3 months. I was falling in love with her and she was already sleeping with him. Every major moment in our relationship was a lie. When I met her parents for the first time, she'd seen him that morning. When we moved in together, she was still going to his place twice a week. When I proposed, she'd been with him the night before. The investigator had a photo of her leaving his apartment at 11 p.m. the day before I got down on one knee. I sat in my car in a parking lot for 2 hours looking at these files. My brother called 4 times. I didn't answer. I just kept scrolling through dates and locations and photos. A restaurant I took her to for our anniversary, she'd been there with him the week before. A vacation we took to the coast, she told him she wished he was there instead in a text message the investigator intercepted. She never loved me. That's what I finally understood. This wasn't about her being confused or making mistakes. She was with me because I was stable and planning a future while she kept him around for whatever he gave her that I couldn't. And when I called her out at the wedding, I didn't ruin her life. I just interrupted her plan. My ex and her boyfriend broke up 3 weeks ago. M told me. Apparently he wanted her to move in with him and she freaked out. Said it was too fast. Too serious. He got pissed and said she was using him. They had a huge fight at some bar and she threw a drink in his face. Someone filmed it and it ended up on social media. M sent me the video. I watched it twice and felt nothing. My ex tried to come back. Not to me but to the life she had. She called my mom 2 weeks ago crying. Said she made a mistake. That she never should have let me go. That we were supposed to be together. My mom told her to lose our number and hung up. Then she blocked her on everything. Her family stopped trying to contact us after my dad threatened to file harassment charges. Haven't seen or heard from any of them since. M says my ex moved back in with her parents. That she's not doing well. Can't keep a job. Sleeps all day. Her parents are worried but also angry because everyone in their social circle knows what happened now. They can't show their face anywhere without people whispering. I finally looked at my ex's social media last week. The posts about narcissistic abuse are gone. The photos with her ex are gone. Her whole account is just quotes about healing and starting over. 43 people follow her now. She had over 800 before. I guess people got tired of the victim act. The investigator told me something else when I picked up the final report. He said in all his years doing this work, he's never seen someone compartmentalize like she did. Most cheaters slip up. Get sloppy. Feel guilty. She was meticulous. 2 phones. Separate email accounts. She told him when I'd be out of town. Told him when it was safe to call. The investigator said she was one of the most calculated people he'd ever tracked. That should make me feel better somehow. Like it wasn't my fault because she was just that good at lying. But it doesn't. It just makes me feel stupid for believing any of it was real. I moved into my own apartment last month. Small 1-bedroom about 20 minutes from work. My parents didn't want me to go but I needed to. Needed to start over somewhere that wasn't their guest room. My brother helped me move. We didn't talk much. Just loaded boxes and furniture and tried to make the place feel like mine. It doesn't yet. Still feels temporary. Like I'm waiting for my real life to start. My therapist says that's normal. That it takes time to adjust. I'm so tired of hearing that things take time. Work got better. My boss pulled me aside last week and said he's seen improvement. That he knows I've been going through it but he's glad I'm finding my footing again. I didn't tell him I still have days where I sit at my desk and stare at my computer for an hour without actually doing anything. That I still have panic attacks in the bathroom. That I still don't sleep right. But I'm functional. That's something. I ran into one of our mutual friends yesterday. The one who said it was complicated and people didn't want to pick sides. He saw me at the grocery store and actually walked over. Said he heard the full story from M that he feels like an idiot for believing my ex's version. He apologized. Said if I ever want to grab a beer he'd like to catch up. I said maybe. I don't know if I meant it. The wedding gift situation finally got resolved. My lawyer managed to recover about 60% of them from her. The rest she'd sold or given away or claimed were hers. I didn't fight it. Didn't have the energy. Most of that stuff is in boxes in my closet now anyway. I can't look at it without thinking about the registry we made together. How she picked out plates and said these will be perfect for Sunday dinners. Like she actually planned to have a life with me. My mom asks how I'm doing every time I see her. I always say fine. She knows I'm lying but she doesn't push. My dad doesn't ask at all. Just makes sure I'm eating and sleeping and showing up to things. My brother checks in twice a week. Sends me stupid memes and asks if I want to play video games online. I usually say no but sometimes I say yes just so he'll stop worrying. I went on a date last week. Friend of a coworker. Nice woman. Pretty. We got coffee and talked for an hour. She asked about my last relationship and I said it ended badly and left it at that. She said she understood. We talked about other things. Movies. Work. Normal stuff. At the end she said she'd like to see me again. I said I'd think about it. I probably won't call her. It's not fair to her. I'm not ready. Don't know when I will be. The investigator's final report sits in my desk drawer. I look at it sometimes when I'm feeling like maybe I'm overreacting. Like maybe it wasn't that bad. Then I see the dates and the photos and the cold calculated way she managed 2 relationships for 2 years, and I remember that it was worse than bad. It was deliberate. My therapist asked me last session if I've forgiven her. I said no. She asked if I want to. I said I don't know. She said that's okay. That forgiveness isn't required for healing. That sometimes the best thing you can do is just let someone go and move forward without them. I'm trying to do that. Some days are better than others. I don't think about her as much anymore. When I do, it's not with the same burning anger it used to be. Now it's just sad. Sad that someone could be that empty inside. That they could hurt someone who loved them and feel nothing. I heard through M that my ex is in therapy now. Real therapy, not just saying it for sympathy. M thinks she might actually be dealing with what she did. That maybe she's finally facing consequences. I don't care either way. What she does with her life now isn't my problem. I'm not the same person I was at that wedding. The guy who stood at the altar thinking he knew what his future looked like. That person is gone. I don't know yet who I'm becoming, but I know I'm done letting what she did define me. My dad was right about his brother. About how carrying anger around can kill you. I'm not going to let that happen. I'm not going to be the guy who dies young because he couldn't let go of what someone else did to him. So I'm letting go. Slowly. One day at a time. And if people want to know if I regret calling her out at the reception, if I regret making it public, if I wish I'd handled it differently, the answer is no. She made her choices for 2 years. I made mine for 30 seconds. I can live with that.